systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is up, everybody? I don't know what my little box is spinning there for, Matt, but hopefully everybody's all right on a Tuesday. What's going on? Seemed like we had a little fumble there at the start, but like we said, Matt, it wouldn't be a show if something didn't get screwed up, right?
Yeah, we're good here on my end. I don't know if we're good out there in the internets, but hopefully we are. And man, different because usually me and you are doing the Thursday slate, which we will still be doing this week, but excited to be talking about more of a main slate with you. We got good contests on Tuesdays, so excited for this show, man.
Yeah, Tuesdays and Fridays for me are my favorite days. Like, it's like usually the healthiest tournaments on Tuesday and Friday. So yeah, I usually
totally agree.
Those are usually the fun days for sure. But we lost one game here today already, so we can just throw that out there. Mets Atlanta, gone. So rained out. So we lost Chris Sale, who probably would have been a probably heavily played pitcher here tonight. But you overall look at it, we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4. We got like a handful of arms, 7 or 8 arms over 8K. So we got a decent, like mid to high level pitching here on the slate today. But I can pick holes in a few of the dudes that I like. Now on FanDuel, there's one less game, the doubleheader game with the Indians and Reds. They're not on the FanDuel slate, so they're down to 8, 9 on DK here today. But Matt, some interesting pitching. I mean, just kind of looking at it. I mean, I think Gavin Williams, who's not on FanDuel, I think would be probably one of my favorite plays today. I mean, he's got 3 games in a row with 11 strikeouts, so that in itself in the DFS world is definitely something to be interested with. And dude, Logan Henderson here in Detroit is like a name that is being talked about for the last few days because they think Skubal, is going to get traded. The Brewers are involved, and Logan Henderson is a name that is being floated that the Tigers want back. So I've been hearing about Logan Henderson. So, but this kid definitely has some strikeout capability. He gets we like him going out the park to San Fran. The problem I have with him on FanDuel is he gets pulled too early. Like he's missing an inning. Like, he's a 5-inning pitcher. It kind of seems he's not getting me to quality start. He's usually, mid 70s. I think he's only been over 80 pitches like 3 times all season. I think he's at 80, 83 and like 85. So he's not getting too deep, but I mean, there's some plays. I think Wroblewski's in play. If you want to go that route, I really like the leash he's been having here in recent times. They've been letting him get over 100. I think anybody can make arguments for Taj Bradley and King. I'm not really a fan of King. I think he's going to see too many lefties. Detmers, I think, is in play. Roop's in play today. If somebody may want to go down to like Castillo or K, if you want to get ballsy, get out the liquor bottle, Matt. But I think we got some options in the pitching world here tonight. I don't think there's any really high-end dude that we need to be worried about. Like, dude's going to blow us away with, a 12 or over 10K strikeout performance here today. I think we got a pretty good mixture. I think bats, Dodgers are in play. We got a Sacramento game here tonight. So, yeah, interesting slate that I think we have. But pitching overall, like I said, I think there's a handful of guys you can make arguments for. But, man, I think for me, I don't like Garrett Cole. I don't like picking on the White Sox, man. It just seems like it's just not been fun. But, I think Gavin Williams stands out for me. He'd probably be my favorite. I think Wroblewski would probably be my second favorite. And then maybe I could do a Logan Henderson. But I don't have Logan Henderson up in the top, and I don't think he's a must-play.
Yeah, I view it very similarly to you, where we have a lot of good options. No really like, Mizorowski against the Rockies or anything like that. But the closest thing is Gavin Williams versus the Reds. The Reds strike out a ton. Obviously, it's a good hitter's park, so I think Gavin's floor is low here. We've seen floor starts from him a few times this season, but he's in good form right now. Reds strike out a ton. I think he's the SP1 on this slate with no sale. The only main difference I think I see with you, and I might be different in the field here, is I like Michael King more than you and the field. Yeah, I don't like the lefties that Colorado will throw at him, but it's still the Rockies on the road in San Diego. And King's also in good form right now, pitching really well his past couple starts. So 8,400, I like King, but to your point, I also like Robleski. I like Logan Henderson, although his price tag is really high. So pairing him with Gavin Williams, a little bit difficult. I imagine he's lower owned because of that, and I still like him. So yeah, he's in play. Reed Detmers at 8,100. I don't mind Landon Raup, as you mentioned, either. Nice price tag, nice ballpark. We saw Tyler Malley pitch well. And then the other guy I think that's got to be in play is Taj Bradley, 8,600. Royals lineup just not good right now. Bradley's been good and consistent, and I still never feel good about rostering, especially into ownership, but I think there's a reason he'll be pretty highly owned here. And at 8,600 against the Royals, gotta at least be in play for me. So kind of as you mentioned, I like all these guys. I don't love anything. For me, Gavin is my number one. And then number two, I also like Robleski. It's tough between Robleski, Bradley, and King for me. I'll say Robleski as well. I like him too.
Yeah, I think the issue I was looking at Bradley too, and then I started thinking like, all right, Bradley in recent times, his strikeout percentage, I mean, it's not been bad. He's good against lefties, 29% so far this year, 24%. It's just he walks so many lefties. I mean, he's got like an 11% walk rate, which is concerning, and he gets barreled up quite a bit by lefties. And, you know, some of the Jensen and Caglione he's going to see up at the top. They're pretty patient. Pasquantino is pretty patient. So, but he could get to Jensen and Caglione and get some strikeouts up there at the top of that lineup. Both of them are 27 and 29% strikeout rate. So, I think Bradley's one of them dudes where, I think you could see the upside. Like I see upside, but then you could see some reasonings why it could go to shit real quick, right? But the upside is definitely there. I think, with the way he's been pitching, I mean, the last month or so, he's been pretty good the last month, 33% K rate to the left side and a 28% K rate to the right side. And I mean, he's in 123 plate appearances in the last 30 days. So I think that's decent. I mean, so like you said, he's in good form right now. So I don't mind it. And I don't mind picking on a Royals team anyway, especially at that price. So King, I think, does concern me a little bit, but I mean, you look at it, I think a lot of the optos like King too, because I mean, the Rockies have the lowest team total pretty much on the slate. So, I mean, and he's also the highest favorite. He's like a minus 240 favorite or something like that here today too. So, I could see that, reasoning why he's well liked. I mean, he's been over the 6th inning mark here, like 4 or 5 starts. I remember looking. That's one thing I always look at when I'm on FanDuel. I want guys that I think can get me past that 6. It's such a difference that at 10 extra points with the win in quality start. But I mean, I could see why you like King, especially against the Colorado team. It's the team we've been, basically chasing against here. What do you feel about Detmers against Houston?
I'm torn on Detmers. We've seen this matchup before. Detmers strikes out a ton of right-handed hitters. Like, he's really good at K'ing righties, but it always worries me using a lefty against this Houston lineup just because they set up so well against left-handed pitching. But in general, on paper, I like Detmers. I think he's definitely in play here. Again, big strikeout percentage against righties. He's going to see a lot of them tonight. He's been good all year. I like Detmers. I don't view him as like, I like him not much more than the other guys we talked about, but he's right on that list for me.
Yeah, I think he's on the borderline for me too. I think it'd be a good tournament play. I mean, if I had a handful of teams, I probably wouldn't get to a Reed Detmers. But if I got 20, I'd probably get a handful of lineups with him in there. It's just Houston doesn't have too many guys that are over that 22.5% K rate that, basically is kind of like the average line there that I want to see. So when I see everybody in the teens and the low 20s, 19%, all the way up and down that lineup, basically 16, 15, 17, 21, 20, 21, 22. So it's like, do I feel like I'm going to get a ceiling game out of this team? Do I feel like they're all going to be shit one day, and get there? I mean, it could happen. It's baseball, but the likelihood of a bunch of lower level strikeout guys not striking out a bunch is something that does concern me. But like I said at the start, I don't think there's any really pitcher today that I feel like is going to overwhelm me today. So I'm not too scared to take a risk or a chance. If it means me being different, because maybe I like the Dodgers, like, fucking everybody always going to like the Dodgers. So, I mean, if you want to get a little different with some of the pitching, yeah, I think there's some guys down here that we can definitely play. But for me, Gavin Williams, Wroblewski would be probably my favorite way to go. And then I'd probably throw Logan Henderson in there. And then maybe like a Taj Bradley. That would be probably my that'd be probably my angle at it, generally playing 2 or 3 teams. But, I think that's the way I'd pretty much go. Is there anybody else you would add into your pool?
I don't think so. The one guy that's like really interesting to me that won't get played is Peter Lambert, because it's just a righties against the Angels thing. But what's interesting about this matchup is he's got really bad reverse splits. So, yeah, I think just because of how much the Angels strike out against right-handed pitching, Lambert is intriguing in tournaments. But I think the Angel stack against him is also in play in tournaments. So if I were playing one lineup, I would never play Lambert. But in multi-entry stuff, like kind of with Detmers, he'd be in play for me.
I mean, Lambert, shit. His ERA, I mean, he looks good on paper. But, as far as DFS world goes, and then, you see the Angel lineup too, match up, and you're thinking, huh? I mean, the last 3 out of 4 starts, Lambert has been pretty good. I mean, he had 89, 104, 107. So his last 3 out of 5 starts, he's been over 100 pitches. That's something I look for too. So I think that's interesting. But yeah, I don't have Lambert actually high up. I think 9K is just too much for me. I'd much rather play Wroblewski against that Seattle team. But does anybody else?
I agree. No, I agree with you, and I'm not going to play him either. But it's just interesting to me with Lambert. Like the last slate that he was on, different slate. We didn't have good pitching options, but he was like 50% owned against the Marlins. Now he's against the Angels, and he won't get any ownership. So it's just interesting. You know what I mean?
Yep. Sometimes I think that too. Like, oh man, if they're in the other team's park, what would they still be even played or chalky or not played? It's just like sometimes everybody's making a whole decision on such like a half of a run difference and like a run difference in a run total or something. It's just like it is baffling to me, and that's sometimes pivots I like to make in baseball. But see a bunch of familiar faces: Poe Jen Stoner, Jake Swalls. We got Woody, Gangrene, Warren, Tyler in the chat, Richie Smalls. So if anybody has any other pitchers or anything before we move on to the bats, let me know before we get over there. But I think we pretty much went through pitching pretty well. I think we all agree Gavin Williams is definitely our favorite. I mean, the dude's just been mowed on 3 games in a row, 11 Ks. I mean, that's too hard to ignore. Picking on Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati does have some power. And Gavin Williams will give us some power. But I mean, if you're going to give me 8 or 9 strikeouts here today, that's definitely something I am looking for. Any other thoughts here before we move on to some bats?
No, I agree. Like, yeah, I think Gavin Williams' floor is low because it always is, and especially in this ballpark. But his ceiling is, I think, by far like the highest of anyone on the slate.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I mean, it's just not fun. Sometimes like you're sitting there rooting for your pitcher, and then all of a sudden it's Ellie De La Cruz, Sal Stewart, JJ Bleday. The bottom of that lineup doesn't really worry you, but I mean, I think Ellie's a really good player, but that would drive me crazy. But Gavin Williams has been good, man. Like that dude's been really good. Like you said, recent form's been good. So Reds definitely have some Ks in that lineup. I mean, they got Ellie 26, Eugenio 34, Nate Lau 26, Myers 27%, Friedel at the bottom 24%, and then 3 of their other bats are in the mid low 20%, 20.5, 20.3. So, yeah, definitely some strikeouts for Gavin. I think he can get the job done. And he's been better the last month. I mean, he's at 36% K rate against lefties, and he's at 40% K rate against righties in the last month, too. So, I mean, dude, Gavin's throwing missiles up there, that's for sure. All right. What do we got here? We got 9 bats. Probably should keep the bosses happy. Everybody knows you see the code up there. 5 days for $19 gets the ship 19. I know too, if you're in the DFS community, I know they've been in our Discord. They're talking about the event with the big guy up in the sky. I think they're going out in Vegas. They have a golf event. I unfortunately will not be able to go to prior commitments. I wish I could. That'd probably be a hell of an expensive weekend with all my DFS boys out in Vegas, because somebody be always wanting to gamble, Matt. And, it's like, shit. Then you'll be running somebody at the book, and then you'll be running over there. Somebody be playing craps, somebody be playing slots. And, you better have a stack of hundos like that in your pocket, or you ain't going to get too far. But, yeah, it should be a good time, especially the golf out there. That would be fun. I'd like to swing some clubs out there with some of the boys here at Ship It and see what we can do, have some fun. But you getting out there for that?
Oh, I'm in the exact same boat as you. I can't. It's my 10th wedding anniversary, so prior commitments like during that weekend. So, yeah, definitely going to be missing it. Talked with Ham a bunch about it after the show. I already have bad FOMO, and the trip hasn't even happened yet. So, I feel you. Yeah,
they got last year, everybody came into Michigan for the live event out here, that championship team event. And I heard, they talked about maybe doing that again, but I think the Vegas thing kind of took over for that. But I heard tomorrow they're canceling that live team event here in Michigan. So kind of a bummer. That was like right down the road. So I know it brought a lot of money into the area, especially the bars. So
yeah, I know how that goes. They just canceled I think it's a senior PGA event in Akron at Firestone, which is a famous club. And now there's no PGA or senior PGA or any event at that club. And there had been for the past however many years. So it's a big loss to the community.
Yeah, they did that a little bit here with some of the Detroit. I forgot. The Rocket Mortgage, I know, has struggled a little bit here. They used to have the Buick Open here too. And that has since, gone away. But, yeah, it's just that live whole thing like them. With the money and all that, the sponsorship money, hopefully they get that shit straightened out. But, yeah, golf's definitely fun. I miss the Tiger Woods days. That's when I was really liking to watch golf. That was fun. All right, 8. What do we got? 9 games. We got first one coming out the gate at 7:10. The doubleheader. Now, this one may not start at 7:10. Did they get the other one done yet? I didn't even see.
8th inning.
8th inning. Yeah, they'll be good. So, yep, this one here, Cleveland, we have coming into Cincinnati, we got a game total of 9. We got Gavin Williams versus Chase Petty here. So, obviously, we're not going to want to pick on Gavin Williams. We were just talking about how good he's been here recently. But do we want any part of Mr. Chase Petty here today?
Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of a bullpen game for the Reds. Petty's opening. And yeah, I think the Guardians are in play here. Obviously, a good ballpark, good hitting weather. Really hard for me to get too excited about this lineup. Manzardo hit a grand slam in the first inning today. They've actually had a pretty good day today. But, man, it's just tough to hitch your wagon to this offense right now. So they're in play because, Cincinnati doesn't have good pitching. Their bullpen isn't good. Petty isn't good. So just because of that, I think Cleveland's in play, but I'm not excited about playing them. And there's other offenses I like more, but you could do worse than stacking against Petty and the Reds bullpen in Cincinnati. So I get it. And then I will just say, I do think Gavin Williams is really good and his ceiling is really high, but his floor is also low, and I think he's going to be really highly owned with no Chris Sale on this slate now. So in tournaments, we've seen crazier things than red stacks. If I'm playing one lineup, I'm not playing the Reds, but if I were playing a bunch, I would have some Reds just because Gavin's volatile for a pitcher of his quality, simply put.
Yeah, I don't mind that, especially, we like the park. For as much as we like Gavin Williams, that game total's 9 in Vegas. So it's not like we're looking at a 7 total, right? Like, so, I mean, that's already telling me that, that game easily could turn into more of a softball game than if something was sitting at a 7 total, which we generally see both teams at a, mid-3 team total. But, yeah, so, I mean, Gavin Williams does give up some power. I mean, he gets barreled from both sides of the plate. I mean, so far this year, he's 12% barrel percentage to the left side, and he's at 11% barrel to the right side. So he does give up some power, but when you're mowing down 11 dudes, I mean, you don't really give a shit if he gives up 2 or 3 solo shots, and still gives up maybe 2 or 3 runs and, so forth. But I mean, yeah, his strikeout capability is definitely something that working on. But yeah, I can see that. Would you rather would you just go full stack, or are you thinking like maybe just pluck some one-offs, like a JJ Bidet or Nate Lau down there? He's got pretty good WOBA against righties so far this year. Is that something that you'd be looking at? I mean, Gavin Williams does have a mid-ground ball lean too. He's up about 46% to the both sides. So, I mean, Bidet does get the ball up in the air the best of all the Reds hitters. So maybe that's somewhere you might want to look.
Yeah, I think either or, honestly. Like, you could full stack the Reds here and play for like the outlier result, but obviously that's more unlikely to happen than, I like the picking out like a JJ Bleday because, if you're not playing Gavin Williams, there's probably a reason why he's not that expensive. So using a bat or two from Cincinnati, even if you don't fully stack them, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you don't, like Gavin, I think that's, like you said, that's definitely a place to get you some leverage. So the next bunch of games, and we go from 7-10, then we have 3 in the 7:45 window, and then we got 5 games at the 9:40 and later window. So, I mean, if you're into them late slates and you want to stay up, you got 5 decent games that start from 9:38 and later, but we got 7:40. We got Yankees and White Sox. We got Garrett Cole. Been looking decent here in recent times. I mean, he's highest priced pitcher, but it's just tough to sit there and fool around with these White Sox who've been pretty good here in recent times. But I mean, he's sitting here looking at the Yankees against Anthony Kay. I mean, strikeout percentage against righties is pretty low, 15%. He does get barreled up 10% by righties. I mean, we looking at some righties here, maybe Goldschmidt, Dominguez, somebody like that, Volpe, maybe if you wanted to go that route. I don't know about Rosario. I always have a hard time. I know he'd be fairly cheap, but man, do you got any interest in going against Cole with some of these lefties over here on the White Sox? And what do you think of them Spankies?
I don't really want to pay the high price tag for Cole because he's uber pricey and I don't like the matchup, but I don't really want to stack against him either on this slate. I could see either side of it. Like, Cole has been good coming off a really good start, and I think he was really good the start before that. White Sox crush right-handed pitching. Both sides will probably be – well, the White Sox will definitely be low owned. Cole will probably get some ownership because no Chris Sale. But I don't really love Cole. And, again, probably won't stack the White Sox either. The Yankees, their lineup pretty gross. I'm sure they run out a similar lineup that they had yesterday when they faced Noah Schultz, another lefty. Rosario, to your point, I don't know if their lineup's out, but will probably be in there tonight. I don't love them as a full stack. I think you can definitely play pieces. All the guys you mentioned. I like Volpe as a cheap shortstop. Not super exciting, but middle of the lineup, cheap shortstop. I'm cool with it. Ben Rice always in play. Max Schumann led off for them last night. Like, he stinks, but he's let off. He's cheap, sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could talk myself into the stack. I don't love it though.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan either. I was just looking. K does generally seem to get mid-80 pitches, so you're probably going to get 2, maybe 3 at-bats for somebody like Rosario if he is in that 3-hole, because, I mean, if they pinch hit, you're probably going to see a lefty come off, or, if they throw a righty out there, you're probably going to see a lefty come off the bench. So, I mean, at best, you're going to get 2 or 3 out of Rosario unless, the game isn't that tight to where they make any kind of difference. So that's why the only reason why I said I kind of worry about him being up there in that spot of the lineup. So yeah, for me, I got Yankees outside like my top 5. I don't really particularly love it here today either. I mean, kind of rare. I mean, it seems like we like Yankees most days, but yeah, today for me, I'll just pass. Next one, we got Twins, Royals. We got Lugo pitching for the Royals against the Twins, who I've been enjoying picking on here in recent times. And then we got the Royals against Taj Bradley, who we did talk about a little bit, who we did seem to like Bradley then a little bit more than we like the Royals offense. But yeah, man, I mean, Seth Lugo for me is a guy that, I mean, we've been picking on. The Woba's high to both sides of the plate. Fly ball percentages are high, 33% to the right side, 30% to the left side. He's been getting barreled up by both sides. So, I mean, K percentages are below average on both sides. So, yeah, I do like some Twins here in this one. But I'd say I got the Twins probably maybe third or fourth in my list today. I do like the Dodgers, as I mentioned a little earlier, maybe a little Red Sox coming up here. But, yeah, so for me, yeah, let me have some of these. Let me have some of these Twins. I mean, I like the Twins too because they do fill up all the middle positions pretty well too. That kind of sucks. So I do like the Twins. Maybe more of a mini for me.
Yeah, I think my only thing that I don't love about the Twins is their price tags. Like, they're expensive up top, but I like the spot. Lugo has not been good this year. Teams have gone off against him multiple times. The Twins, you know, I'm fine stacking them. I'm never excited about stacking them, but I'm with you. I think they're a top 5 stack on this slate. Probably, I don't know. We haven't gone through all the teams, but probably like 5th for me. But yeah, always fine stacking against Lugo. I don't think they're really highly owned. I think the Red Sox, again, are the highest owned team on the slate by a good amount. So anything other than the Red Sox and some pieces of the Dodgers maybe is going to be different. So the Twins fall in that bucket. I like stacking against Lugo. Yeah, Twins definitely the side of this game I like. I guess I don't hate the Royals either, especially if Taj Bradley's going to get ownership. It's kind of the same case I made with the Reds against Gavin Williams. It's weird. Taj Bradley's been less volatile than Gavin Williams this season, or at least recently, without the crazy upside. But we've seen Taj Bradley for years, and he's volatile. So any start that Taj Bradley gets blown up in will not surprise me. So just because of that, the Royals are in play in tournaments.
All right, I do like that. Actually, it's just hard for me always to play the Royals. I mean, I do like parts of the Royals. It's just like, I know some people do it. I just block teams out that I just don't think are going to get me to the top because I don't have enough power and can't roll through a lineup that well. And there's too many road bumps. And the Royals have been one of those teams for me for maybe not as much this year as last year, but yeah. So, I mean, especially when Bobby Witt's not in there, it just makes it even worse. But this next game, I do like some Cubbies, and we got some cards here. We got Colin Ray on the mound for the Cubs, and then we got Michael McGreevy on the mound. I mean, McGreevy here is a guy that I think we can attack, obviously, with some lefties. His K percentage is at 13.5%. He's been getting barreled up at 10%. So I think, I mean, he is a mid-ground ball lean. I mean, his fly ball percentage is higher to the left side. So somebody like PCA, who's been hitting the shit out of the ball. Michael Bush, I think we could look at. I mean, we know Bush likes them long, likes to hit them long. So, I think Cubbies for me are interesting. I think the cards on the other side against Ray, I mean, Ray does give some power to the right side. So, I mean, he's got a barrel percentage at 15%. Half to the left side at 7%. K percentage is lower to the right side, so he's reverse splitsy. Ground ball's kind of low. Fly ball percentage at 38%. His fly ball percentage to the left side is only at 18%. So, and you don't really see it that much. And we're talking 275 plate appearances to the left side, 187. So it's a pretty good sample size. So, I mean, for me, I like some of the righties we got here, like Jordan Walker. I mean, I'm looking at, Walker, Herrera, I think is interesting. But, I mean, you can still throw in some of these lefties in here. Burleson hits the shit out of righties. He got a 412 Woba against the right side. So, I think you could look at both sides here, and you could game stack this one. I wouldn't mind that. I do think that I think I like some Cardinals actually a little bit more than the Cubs. So I'm not too sure. I'm going to put them like maybe 4 and 5, like in my bunch. They'd be in my top 5, both of them. But I think it'd be a decent game stack because both pitchers are not going to be missing any bats. I think you're going to get a lot of balls in play on both sides. So, this one could turn into an interesting game and get us some runs here. I think this one's a game that would be on my low-owned list, like you said, Dodgers. It's not a Red Sox type stack. So this one here, I think could get you to the top of a tournament. One of these two teams.
I totally agree with you. See this exactly the same way. Both these pitchers are not good. McGreevy's a pitcher I've wanted to pick on and have picked on all season. Expected numbers way worse than his actual numbers. Now, he's gotten by with smoke and mirrors much of the season, but the negative regression has been coming, and I think it continues. So I like the Cubs, but I like the Cardinals, I think, even more. Like you said, Ray is bad, maybe even worse than McGreevy, and I think the Cardinals are real low owned on this slate. Like, I think the Cubs are not, like, owned as much as Boston or the Dodgers, but I think the Cardinals come in like real low owned. So that intrigues me a lot. So I'm interested there. I think we just talked about the Twins. I think I'm going to move them out of my top 5 and put both these teams in there.
Yeah, I just like it because I think you're just going to see a game that's going to go back and forth, probably, score some runs back and forth. And then, I think this one definitely has the potential to be like an 8-7 type game. Something we're looking for. Ray has, like you said, it's just been bad. He's actually double worse to the right side statistically so far this year. And like I said, it's been pretty big sample size. Like, damn, man. Like, normally you only see that's like 50 or 60 at bats. Like, you don't see it in the 100, like, is this far into the season, generally per se, like being that splitsy. And like I said, 18% fly ball rate to the other side being like a 37. Like, that's kind of bizarre too. So, let's attack some Colin Ray with some cards. So the other one we got here, next one, as we get to the 9:40 window. So if you got that late, like I said, you got a decent late slate. So if you start out like shit and you're a degenerate, like generally like I am, I'm already looking forward if my pitcher got blew up or something like that in the early window. Well, shit, I got 5 games to maybe get some money back here in the late slate. So we got Houston, we got Lambert, and then we got Reed Detmers on the hill today. I actually kind of prefer both sides of the pitching. In my world, you can always play Yordan Alvarez. That dude, I don't give a shit if it's a lefty or not. He still hits lefties at a 374 WOBA, which it's got to be pretty close to the top. I don't know if Schwarber's better. But I don't really ever mind him. I don't mind picking on the Angels bullpen, which is not very good, but I don't really see any reason for me. I think it's just kind of pushing it to play either one of these teams. Lambert's been just so good here so far this year. So for me, I don't even have these teams really on my radar. But if you did, like I said, you could maybe play a Yordan. I'd never argue with that, especially if you're going to get them low owned.
I agree with that, but I actually like the Angels more than you do. Lambert is really, really big reverse splits. You just talked about Ray. Lambert maybe have the most pronounced splits of anyone in baseball as far as his reverse splits go. And we know the Angels, all their best hitters are righties. So, yeah, Neto, Trout, Soler. Like, I don't hate the lefties either if you're stacking, but I think they're another low-owned stack that has upside on this slate. I understand why Boston's going to be so highly owned and the Dodgers, obviously, against Luis Castillo. But outside of that, like, I like some teams that are going to be way lower owned than the field, way more than the field. So this is one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think let's just lay it out. Like between Dodgers and Red Sox, do we think that's going to be over like a 50% ownership between the two teams to where, like some of these other teams are all going to be in the less than 10% is what I'm going to assume. Is that where you think we're at?
Yeah, I think honestly most of that comes from Boston though. The Dodgers, it's tough because they're really, really expensive. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe 40. Yeah, 40 to 50%, probably somewhere around there.
Yeah, so I was just trying to gauge, like, I mean, we got a lot of options that I think can get to where we need to get to try to beat, like a Red Sox team out there in Sacramento playing, higher altitude with a, game total of 10 here tonight. But yeah, and then Dodgers got a 9.5 total. But yeah, so I mean, we got this other game out here in San Diego where we have Michael Lorenzen, who we definitely like to pick on against Michael King and the Rockies here today. I mean, King a pretty big favorite, minus like I said, like a minus 240, minus 233. I'm looking at, but yeah, I mean, you had a little interest in King more than me. Do you have any interest in maybe bouncing it back with, like a one-off, like a lefty one-off, maybe like a Moniak? Or somebody like that, or do you just wanting to leave it be, and do you want to stack any Padres against the Rockies team? And I mean, Lorenzen is not obviously been getting low K rates, gets smashed against lefties. I mean, Cronenworth, maybe Jackson Merrill, Gavin Sheets, maybe somewhere around them guys.
Yeah, so not really in on the Rockies, guys. I like King. I understand it. Like, you don't like King as much as I do, and the lefties are a thing, and he'll be owned, so I get it. But I like King, and I like the Padres. Lorenzen is, of all the pitchers we've talked about, McGreevy, Ray, all of them, he's the worst. So you get a bad ballpark here for hitting, obviously, but the vibes are high for the Padres right now. They're just coming off a sweep of the Marlins on the road. They came back late in that Sunday game. I like them at lower ownership against Lorenzen. They're cheap. They got some expensive guys up top, Tatis and Machado, namely, but they've got other, much cheaper guys to balance it out. And I love the matchup and the ownership. So I like the Padres here.
Yeah, I see Rengifo getting some love in the chat from Warren. Does the Rengifo insanity run continue?
He's been good. Yeah, he's been good.
Yeah, he has been pretty good. I mean, like I said, I'm not all tickled too much about playing, but I don't mind like 5, 6, 7 hitters if you're looking for some, Jackson Merrill, if you want to go Rengifo, and then Gavin Sheets down there, if that's where they end up in the lineup, if that's projected. I mean, I don't mind that little bunch. It's just hard to play teams, out there in San Diego, especially in that later window in the day. We talk. I don't know if you're,
okay.
Coming in.
So here's one where I'll throw back to you, because this is kind of the opposite of what we talked about before the show started. If this game were in Colorado, the Padres would be by far the highest owned team on the slate. They're not in Colorado. They're in San Diego. But it's still the same matchup, and they're going to be low owned. They're not going to be like 1% owned, but they're not going to be 10% owned either for the most part. So what's your take there?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it that way, I mean, that's what we were talking about. How many times do we see a team and they're in the other park and then nobody's playing them? I mean, this is a perfect situation, actually. And it's a shitty pitcher on the other side and a bullpen that we don't mind picking on. I mean, Colorado is definitely a top 5 worst bullpen in baseball. So I mean, we got it. We got it all the way around. And then you're sitting there with the Padres. It's just I don't mind it. It's just the Padres for me I guess I'd feel better about it if it was a team I played more this year.
I know you're not a Padres guy, but to the other point of that, they've been good over the past month. They've been in better matchups on the road, and I like them on the road more, but they have been a lot better over the past month.
Yeah, I mean, that's a team that's like a disappointing team, too. You see some of the names on that team, and they're better than what they are.
Right, they're talented for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And then, you get a Rockies, you get a Michael Lorenzen. I still laugh. Didn't Michael Lorenzen throw a no-hitter or something? I always just laugh.
Yeah, he did. That's a good call. That is just crazy.
Oh, that one always made me laugh. But we got some Padres in there. What do you put the Padres to, like the Cubbies, the Cards, the Twins? What do you think?
I like them more than the Twins. I think I'm going to be lower on the Twins in the field, and I like them probably as much as the Cubs and Cardinals. Especially I like that last point that we talked about, because we were just talking about that, and usually it's the other side where teams are getting a lot of ownership. Like If this game were, like, for instance, if this game were in Colorado and the Padres were super chalky, we'd be saying if this game were in San Diego, they wouldn't get any love. So we could flip it on its head. But in this instance, I like the case for playing them. So I like San Diego here.
This game's in Colorado. It's a 10 to 11 total, 2 to 3 run difference is the way I would look at it. So, I mean, if you went to your optimizer and bumped that game up to like an 11 and even in San Diego and spun it like it was in Colorado, you'd be surprised probably how many Padres come up.
No doubt about it.
So let's move to the big one. The next one here, we have Boston going out there to Sacramento. I mean, shit, the red hot Red Sox, they fire their manager, roll off like 15 in a row. I mean, that's just definitely baseball. But, you know, I was laughing with a couple of my buddies who was a Red Sox fan. I'm like, hey, is it like that Major League movie where they got the pinup of the old owner's wife and they're like ripping pieces off if they're winning games and shit in there? Like, you know, all having fun and all that crap. I was kind of laughing with them about it. But, yeah, so, I mean, we're sitting there with the Red Sox here against Gage Jump. So, I mean, really, we're looking at a 24% K rate to basically both sides of the plate. Doesn't really get barreled all up that much. I mean, fly ball percentages are not that great. 28% to the left side, 26.5 to the right side. He does get more ground balls to the right side at 42%. But I mean, you look at some of these Red Sox. I mean, they do beat up some lefties. I mean, Wilson Contreras, 429 WOBA, Mead, who they just got in a trade, which, man, Connor early for me. When I saw that one, I was just like, that one's going to be interesting to pay attention to in the next couple of years, because I got a feeling early's going to be pretty good here moving forward. But yes, I mean, made that lineup better. I mean, I can't believe Jamani Jones may be in that lineup either, because he couldn't hit a beach ball on the fucking Tigers here in recent times. But he'll probably have a decent night because I ripped on him. But either way, I think the Red Sox are definitely going to be in play here out there in Sacramento. You got that bullpen for the A's that is not very good at all. Definitely one of the worst bullpens in baseball. So, yeah, I can definitely see why everybody's on the Red Sox. But, you know, we were talking about, Matt, like when the Red Sox are winning all the games, me and Nate literally mentioned, like, they're not, like, killing everybody. They weren't putting up a bunch of runs. They're winning 5-2, 6-4. You know, like they were winning games, close games, mid-level scoring, low-scoring games. They weren't putting up huge numbers, but definitely been winning a lot of ball games. But, I mean, which doesn't really matter in DFS unless it's your pitcher. But for me, I think the Red Sox are in play. I'm not sure I like them as much as everybody else does, just because I don't normally play the Red Sox, it seems like, in recent times. So whenever I feel like a team I'm not normally playing all of a sudden is chalky, like I can find more reasons in my brain to say why not to play it. But I do like this lineup a lot better with Mead at the top. I mean, that dude does hit lefties pretty well. I mean, 385 WOBA, pretty decent walk rate. So, yeah, I can see why the Red Sox are chalky.
We'll see if Mead's in there tonight. He left early after getting hit in the hand in the second at bat. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, that would definitely be a big loss for them. So, first off, you know the vibes are high when we're getting Major League references, because that's my favorite movie ever. So, love the shout out. And, yeah, this one's tough because I like Gage Jump as an arm, but you look at his home and road numbers, home and road splits, I should say, and he's so much worse at home. And it makes sense. This ballpark, you get Boston here, and they're just basically so cheap outside of Contreras and Mead if he's in there. So I think the thing you said that I totally agree with is I really like Boston here. I just don't know if I like them as much as the field does, especially when there's other stacks that I like that the field doesn't really like. So, yeah, I think Boston is the scariest team to fade on this slate. And I think on paper they look pretty clearly like the best stack. But, you know, it's baseball. Weird stuff happens nightly. And I do respect Gage Jump enough where he's not a guy, even at home, where I'm like, I have to stack against him. So not exactly sure how I'm going to play it yet. Obviously, the Red Sox rank high for me, but I just don't know if I want to ride all the ownership there.
Yeah, like I was saying, like whenever there's a team that's fairly chalky, that I just normally don't like to play. Like, to me, it's just like, okay. And then I got to just keep myself in line and not be stubborn and get fallen into the, all the, everything you're hearing chirping in your ear, why this stack and this, and you're hearing different people, why they like something, or you're reading different things, or you just dive into different numbers. And, then all of a sudden, when you've initially looked at it, I always like to take my initial look. You're like, oh man, that Cubs Cardinals game looks interesting. And then you're kind of look like, man, nobody's talking about the Cubs Cardinals. It was like my first instinct when I looked at it. Like, a lot of times I just like to rely on my first instinct sometimes. And, like, it's easy when a team like the Dodgers is in Sacramento or Colorado. I mean, it jumps right out to you on the page. It's like, it's easy to see. But like when I just see like my teams that I don't normally play that are in the good situations, that, sometimes I'm just willing to fade that. And if it beat me kind of thing, and maybe play a team that I do like to play, that maybe I like the Cubs, like tonight. Like, we like to play the Cubs. They're good up and down. They can turn the lineup over. They score runs, So for me, I think that's definitely, something I like to do, and play somebody different. Like, that's DFS baseball, especially if you're playing tournaments, because especially tournaments. We don't play too many cash games anymore. So, it just seems to be the way it is. So, yeah, definitely different perspective that everybody else has. So, yeah, definitely whenever a team is chalky, I guess my point is that I just hardly ever play. I just generally just like to leave it alone. Like, why force it? Like, and then you're forcing it when everybody else is forcing it. So, me, it's like a double dumbass move.
Yeah, and it's hard to win tournaments. Like, even when those teams are the highest scoring teams, like, if you stack Boston tonight and they go off, you're going to min cash for sure. But, like, you better have all the right pieces and the one-offs and pitchers if you want to get close to the top. Whereas if you go with the Cubs or the Cardinals, let's say, and, like, they're the team that scores 12 runs, like, yeah, to win, you're going to need everything right. But, like, there's just so much less competition as far as lineups up there with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of times when you're playing those chalkier stacks, you're going to get, what? At least three of the top 5 hitters in most people's stacks. So now you're almost basically made it a 2 versus 2, and and then like maybe a one-off thing. So now if those guys go off, and you're like, oh dude, I was 500 person tournament and I was in 150. My guy just hit a homer and he was 42% owned, and now I'm in 128. It's like, you didn't go anywhere. You only passed like a couple dudes. So yeah, but if you have that guy PCA who hits that home run and he's 3% owned tonight, hit you a 3-run bomb, you're going to go from 150 to maybe 40th or 30th, so that's definitely to be said. Like I said, I guess when teams I don't normally like to play, I don't play it. And there's another team here I don't normally like to play. We sure know Nades likes to play the Brewers and San Fran. I don't normally like to play teams out there in San Francisco. We're sitting there looking at a game total at 7.5. We got 2 decent pitchers with Henderson and Landon Rope out there. But, Brew Crew, we like to play. Only time I'll play any Brew Crew is if we have a fly ball pitcher on the mound today, and that is not the case with Landon Rupp. He's got a 19% fly ball percentage to the left side, 22% to the right side, 51%, 52% ground balls to both sides of the plate. I wouldn't give a shit if they're playing in Coors Field. I would not play any Brewers just because of that. They do pound a lot of balls in the ground. I am not interested in any Giants here at home against Logan Henderson, who's been pretty good. So for me, pretty easy pass, and I don't even really see any batters I want. What about you?
Only thing I disagree with is if they were playing in Coors Field, I might have more interest than you. But tonight, I'm good. So, yeah, I'm with you.
I like to give Nate shit, though, and he's like, he always likes some Brewers, so I just kind of laugh. But, I always tell him, like, yeah, I get it. They're really good. They're number one, their playoff, could win the whole thing this year. But, like, DFS-wise, like, they nickel and dime everything. They're not hitting multiple 3-run bombs, like they steal bags. They get base hits. They do, they do a lot of the other things. What did they score? Like 20 runs? I think they didn't even have a homer or something. They scored like 20
it's funny. Like, their offense is really good, right? And they score a ton of runs, but there's only one team that has less combined home runs than the Guardians. In Cleveland, it's the Brewers. and Cleveland doesn't have anyone with over 11 home runs. So, like, yeah, the Brewers don't hit home runs, to your point.
Right. And so, yeah, I mean, we're playing DFS. I mean, it's about homers and strikeouts in most occasions. I mean,
yes,
unless that guy goes off 4 for 4 and got, 2 doubles and a stolen base, then, yeah, you get some numbers that blow off the charts. But really, I mean, it's about chasing homer. Can this guy hit me a double dong tonight? Like, that's a lot of times what I'm thinking to myself. Looking at a dude with 5 home runs on the year, man, I'd rather play a guy that, has got 15 homers and maybe his average is 50 point less. Like, I'm chasing the homers, and especially if it's against a fly ball pitcher or a ground ball pitcher like that, that all matters to me. So either way, we got one game left. We got Dodgers here tonight at home against Seattle. I mean, we got Luis Castillo. We kind of like picking on him a little bit, especially outside Seattle. Then we got Wroblewski, who we did like up at the top. I think against Seattle, I don't really even want to play any bets against them as far as maybe even some one-offs. Maybe if you wanted to go Julio, if you wanted to go that route, I'm not really all that much of a fan of it. I mean, Wroblewski does have a higher fly ball percentage to the right side if you wanted to look there. But Julio, I mean, his fly ball percentage is decent, 37%. So I think he'd be the guy that I'd potentially look at if you wanted to maybe get some leverage off Wroblewski if you think he's going to be higher owned. And then you got Castillo over here for the Mariners, 17% K rate to the left side, 24 to the right side. He's been getting barreled up almost 12% to the left side, 6%. So he's obviously been getting hit twice as hard to the left side. I mean, we got Ohtani, Freeman, Muncy, Edman, Tucker, rushing. I mean, they're going to throw some power at him from the left side. I think that's why he's picking up some steam. He does 33% fly ball rate. Yeah, I mean, I definitely like some Dodgers. They're going to be expensive. So, I mean, I think I'd rather play the Dodgers than the Red Sox, to be honest with you.
I think the Dodgers are way less owned as a full stack than the Red Sox. They're so much more expensive that it's hard to get all of them. So, because of that, I'm with you. And I'll say, like, I like Wroblewski, and I don't want to stack against him, but I'm with you on using a one-off or two. Anytime you get Seattle out of Seattle, I'm interested in their lineup. Like, it's not a bad lineup. They just play in such a bad park for hitting. So, Julio, I'm with you. Probably my favorite. And then the Dodgers stack, yeah, if you can make it work, like if you like cheaper pitching or a really cheap secondary stack, I get it. It's just tough for me, man. Like, Ohtani's close to 7K, and he hasn't been great recently. So, yeah, if I have the salary, of course, I'm not playing him because he hasn't been great recently, but it's hard for me to want to just prioritize everything to play him. And the rest of their lineup's expensive too. So I like them a lot. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to make it work because I like other stacks also.
Yeah, the Dodgers. That thing with Shohei came out that 30 for 30, man. I started freaking out thinking, oh, shit, man. I got to dump my Ohtani cards before they're worth like Ron or Franco cards. Like, oh, shit, like here we go. But, yeah, so, but for me, I mean, Dodgers are definitely one of my top stacks. So I'll roll off my top stacks, give out some pitching. I'll even throw a home run call, and then we'll get your thoughts, and then we'll get out of here and start getting ready for our fun we're going to have tonight. Our little Twitter party and Discord party when we're all stacking up at the top of the tournaments tonight. But as far as pitching goes, I think it's pretty easy. As we said, Gavin Williams is definitely my favorite. And then I think I'd go to Wroblewski and then Henderson, and then maybe throw in a combination, different guys like Taj Bradley, maybe Detmers, Cole if you wanted to get up there, if you wanted to go against the White Sox, which I'm not a fan of. As far as stacks, Dodgers are my favorite. Then I could see the Red Sox. And then I got that Cards Twin or Cubbies game. And then I'd say some Twins. And then we'll go Padres after that, I think would be my favorite outside of that. And as far as a home run call today, I'm going Gavin Sheets of the Padres. I think that's my favorite. I think them are some low on gut, like we said, like some cheaper bats that you could probably throw in on some Padres here tonight that you could pair up with some even some Dodgers that have some potential for some power. I don't mind that at all. So Yeah, I'll go that route, like you said earlier. Kind of made it sound even a little more intriguing. Like, hey, if they were in Colorado tonight, what would they be looking at? They probably would be the chalkiest team here tonight. So don't mind having a couple pieces of that here today. But Matt, what do you got here for some pitching and some stacks?
Yeah, so for my pitchers, I'm gonna go Gavin. I'll go King, and I'll go Robleski. For stacks, we'll go Padres. I like them a lot here. I gotta throw the Red Sox in there just because I like them a lot, and we'll go Cardinals. And we're gonna go home run. Guy you mentioned earlier, I like the call a lot. Colin Ray giving up a ton of fly balls to righties. Jordan Walker gonna get his first since the Derby.
Yeah, he did get that Derby curse a little bit, didn't he? It seems like that does happen quite a bit. Them dudes coming out.
I'm like not sure if I want to choose him because of that, but I thought why not?
No, I mean, hey, those are the little things. Like, you know what, dude? Like, too, like, you know, the freaking trade deadline's coming up. Like, some of these guys may not even be on certain teams coming up, or they might be babying like a guy like Scooble. They might only let him throw. Like, if he does start for the Tigers, they might only give him 2 or 3 innings tomorrow. Like, they may not even let him go very. Like, you don't even know. Like, I mean, there's so many factors that are coming into play. Like coming in, like when a trade deadline or the 40-man roster, just all that kind of stuff comes into play. So, yeah, definitely interesting time. But, hey, appreciate everybody joining us here today. I think, Matt, you're going to be back here with me tomorrow. Is that not correct?
I think it's title tomorrow.
It's okay. Title tomorrow. I know we're filling in for Nades here this week, who's, I believe, at a work conference. But either way, we'll get it covered. We'll get you guys all handled. Appreciate everybody joining us here today. See you all at the top of them tournaments. And let's ship it. Where to go?